Welcome to the Rocky and Meisty Show, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we conclude our divisional round preview. And we are going to conclude with the Bucs and Rams. We got some veteran quarterbacks. It's a good change of pace from the young quarterbacks we've had in the AFC. Some veteran quarterbacks, guys that have been in the league for over a decade. And Tom Brady's case, about 2 decades. So we'll get into that. Remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and our podcast on Spotify and Instagram. And if you are on the YouTube page, Spotify and Apple. And if you are on the YouTube page, you will notice that we do have a new look, thanks to our producer, Morty, as I pointed out. So that was a great job done by him. The graphic looks incredible, and the whole layout just looks amazing. So thank you to him once again. Remember to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. So let's get into this veteran against veteran. And really, it's interesting. The Rams won that game last week against the Cardinals, and we're all thinking, wow, impressive win by the Rams. It's true, but, this is one win. They're Super Bowl or bust. The way they've formatted their team, how much draft capital they've invested into this roster, Matthew Stafford, Von Miller, win now mode. Everyone said it all season. The Rams are in win now mode, and they are. And they haven't, per se, succeeded the way that we thought they would throughout the course of the season. But here they are. They're in the divisional round, going up against Tom Brady. 2 more wins, and they're in the Super Bowl. Anything short of that is a disappointment. But I want to know your guys' opinion on this. Do you really think it's a disappointment for the Rams if they don't win the Super Bowl? Because they're going up against Tom Brady. They can lose to Tom Brady very easily. Mike, do you think it's a disappointment for them if they don't make the Super Bowl? It's a Super Bowl or bust for the Rams.
It's a Super Bowl bust. That's it. There's no question about it. Whether it's to Aaron Rodgers or to Jimmy Garoppolo next week, or whether it's to Tom Brady this week, at the end of the day, it's Super Bowl or bust. So, and it's not, by the way, it's not Super Bowl or bust. It's winning the Super Bowl or bust.
Right.
And it's really, it's winning. There's no, if they lose in the Super Bowl, that's it. This is their team. The question is now, can you say maybe next year they can bring everyone back? Maybe do it again. Okay, good luck. I mean, it's not easy to run it back. We've seen even with Brady. I mean, yeah, Brady has run it back year after year, but different players, different schemes. It's always something new with Brady. But and that's what makes him great. But at the end of the day, this game, I still don't know who to pick. I don't even know where to start. I mean, this game is could go flip flop. The Rams beat them earlier in the year, but Tom Brady's now in the playoffs, at home.
Different animal.
Actually, where is this game being played? In LA or at home, or in Tampa?
No, it's in sunny Florida, baby.
Tampa, yeah.
Yeah,
we got sunny LA meeting sunny Florida.
I don't know. I mean, this sounds to me more like Brady just cooks, and Steph and Bucs defense are a tough bunch. So it's definitely going to hurt Matthew Stafford. The Cardinals defense was just awful. They had no answer. Now, once again, the question is, how are they going to answer to Matthew Stafford and OBJ and Cooper Kupp cooking? I mean, it shouldn't be possible to stop that either. So we could see a really high scoring game. I think we do see a really high scoring game. And that's I mean, I really don't know, but I have to think more. I have to hear what Yehuda says and try to see if he can talk me one way or the other.
I have a convincing argument. I'll tell you at the end. I want to hear Yehuda's opinion on this first too, though.
Yeah, I mean, me and Rocky are going to hit you with the stats, so for sure. But we all know that they played each other in week 3. That was, feels like years ago. And that was a different team. Right. The Bucs were absolutely devastated at corner. They were missing a bunch of corners, safeties. They're just super injured. The Rams didn't have OBJ. They didn't have Von Miller. They had Robert Woods. This is a completely different game. So I don't know how much we can look back at that game. But obviously the Rams did beat them, but that was also in LA. So I don't know how much that game really can speak to what's going to happen in this game. But what I do know is that Matthew Stafford just saw this, that he has the highest pass rating in the blitz against the blitz in the NFL. And a lot of that is because of Rams' solid O-line. They pick up these blitzes, and when Stafford doesn't have to think, and he just makes his reads without thinking and just throw, he's amazing. But when he thinks, 16 of his 17 interceptions have occurred against 4 or fewer rushers. So when he's thinking, he's in the pocket, he can sometimes make these bad mistakes, like we saw against Tennessee, against Baltimore, and he loves to throw pick sixes. It's very weird. So
it's true.
Yeah, the Bucs, their MO is to blitz, actually. But we saw in the Super Bowl, and I was talking about this earlier, we saw in the Super Bowl about how Todd Bowles completely changed the identity of his defense, and he only blitzed four guys for most of the game. He barely even brought 5 guys. So, I mean, obviously the Chiefs had a bunch of O-line injuries, so they were able to exploit that. But I think Todd Bowles' best plan to attack Matthew Stafford and the Rams offense is to not blitz and do what he did in the Super Bowl and force Matthew Stafford to think and make mistakes and force him into making the bad play and some pick sixes. Because again, I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball. Like last time, I know I said, you can't look back much on last game, but I'm going to look at last game. They were not able to run the ball. I think they only had like 60 some rushing yards. And we know how good the Bucs rush defense is, or 70 some rushing yards, but they are not going to be able to run the ball on the Bucs, and no one is really able to run the ball on the Bucs. So they're going to put it all in Stafford's hands. You guys were talking about his legacy for last week's pod. This is a legacy game right here. Can you go toe to toe with Tom Brady? Because he's not going to have a run game most likely, and even with Cam Akers and the amazing comeback that he's made, I don't think he's going to be able to run on the Bucs. So can Matthew Stafford beat the blitz? Yes, I think he can. And I think Todd Bowles knows that. So I don't think he's going to blitz. So can Matthew Stafford sit in the pocket and make his reads and beat 7 guys when he has JPP, Shaq Barrett, and, guys coming up the middle and rushing him and putting him under pressure with 4 guys? Granted, the Rams do have a very good O-line, but we will see if Stafford can beat this Bucs defense on his own with probably 35 to 40 pass attempts.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to Stafford. The question is, as I've pointed out so many times this year, it's the up and down Stafford. We've seen throughout his entire career, and he's had that this year. He's had games this year, 3 or 4 mind-boggling throws. You're like, what are you doing? I pointed out on Twitter a couple weeks ago against the Ravens, he did not play well in that game at all. And, there was one play to Van Jefferson where it was 3rd and 10, and Van Jefferson was wide open in the flat, 5 yards down the field. I mean, wide open. The man had 20 yards of open field. It would have been an easy first down. Instead, he forces the ball into, chucks it up 40 yards down the field into triple coverage, and the ball gets intercepted. Now, it wasn't so costly in the grand scheme of things because it would have been a punt would have been that either way. But the fact that he could have continued the drive, just his vision wasn't there for some reason. The vision's off sometimes. He's not going through his reads and he's not seeing the field well. I don't know what it is, but that's right. You put him under pressure and, put him under pressure, whether that's a literal or figurative statement. Maybe he gets in his head. I don't know what it is, but that's for sure definitely a big key to this game. Now, if you look at the other side of the ball, it's Brady, right? It's the second highest snap to release time in the league. Tom Brady has averaged over 42 passing attempts per game this year. So they're no secret. The Bucs are not a secret. They like to throw the ball a lot. But it's quick throws. It's not necessarily right. Since Godwin's gone out, they haven't had that big playability so much. Tom Brady can throw the ball down the field, contrary to what people think. He's still got the arm, but they don't have the receivers to do it. So it's a little more dink and dunk, similar to what the Chiefs have had to adjust to a little, right? Like you had those big play guys, and now you're a little more limited, either because of what the defenses have adjusted to or because of the players that have gotten injured that you have had to adjust to it as default of that. But the Bucs have had to adjust to it. And now they're going to be, now they're going up. They're not going up against the Eagles anymore, right? The Eagles snuck into the playoffs. They obviously, Morty's mentioned, had an easier schedule, more favorable schedule, a good team, but probably don't belong in the playoffs this year, at least maybe down the line. All right, the Rams belong in the playoffs. They're one of the best teams in the league if you look at their roster. This front seven can bring pressure to Brady, but that's the thing. Brady can get the ball out quick. I don't know, man. Like, Meisty, you said, I don't know who to go with in this game. There's a golden rule for me. I never bet against Brady. Even if the matchup's not always favorable, I never bet against Brady. I don't know if you guys agree with that golden rule. That's my golden rule.
Unless it's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no, unless it's Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Unless it's Aaron Rodgers. No, even that. Last year we all picked the Packers to beat the Bucs in the NFC Championship game, and then I was the only one that picked the Bucs to win in the Super Bowl because none of us thought Brady could do it. And here again, like, it's not really like, if you look on paper, the Rams have a much better roster than the Bucs do overall because of the fact that the Bucs have a lot of those weapons aren't there. So yeah, the Rams on paper look to have the upper hand here, but just don't bet against Brady, man. can't bet against that man. That man's just chilling on his couch. He's like, haha, you guys all think breaking down matchups, Donald, this, that, what. Forget about Aaron Donald. I'm getting the ball out before he can even say hi, like hey, Aaron Donald. But anyway, no, Aaron Donald will do some damage. He always does. But just don't bet against Brady. My golden rule of betting.
The thing that scares me though is Ryan Jensen and Tristan Wirfs, two humongous pieces on their O-line, their center and their right tackle.
Oh, my fire again.
One of the best tackles in the league. Did not practice on Thursday, and we even saw their backup right tackle get a little injured, but he was getting a little beat. He was getting beat by Kerrigan in the Eagles game, and Brady was taking some sacks. We saw him take some sacks even late in the game when the game was in hand, and he didn't really need to be in there, but he was still just getting smacked around. So the Rams have the best pressure rate, pass rush win rate in the league. So they're gonna get to Brady. But like Rocky said, the quick passing game is exactly what they need to stop this pass rush. But if they're set up in second and long, third and long situations, and the Rams can just pin their ears back and blitz Brady, that they can give him some serious trouble. And if he has to go down the field and make these deep throws, or if they're trailing or whatnot, and they get in a place where they need to start coming back, it's going to be really tough because the Rams defense is ferocious. Still have Jalen Ramsey. They got solid corners. The one thing that is a problem is they're on like their 8th string safety. They signed Eric Whittle out of retirement.
Yeah,
they're at safety.
Whittle.
Yeah, so Brady knows that. Brady knows that Eric Weddle is a 40-year-old who who's not playing at the same level that Tom Brady's playing at. So he's gonna exploit that, and he's probably gonna be able to find Gronk over the middle, beating some linebackers, beating a safety, and Evans is still around. So even if Jalen Ramsey takes care of Evans most of the time, if they can use him in the red zone, that will be good enough for Brady. But like you said, this quick passing game, guys like Cyril Grayson and Scotty Miller. Brady's got to see if he can keep them involved. But another thing that from the first game is Brady was actually their team leader in rushing with 14 yards, because
like I said, over 42 pass attempts per game. They rely on the pass game very heavily in Tampa.
So if they can get Fournette back, because we're not sure if he's going to play. Ronald Jones didn't practice, but if Fournette can come back, because he was practicing a little bit. He I don't know how close he was last time coming back, because we expected him to come back, and I expected him to come back. I said I would take Fournette to run all over the Eagles, and then he didn't even play. But if he comes back and he can establish a run game against the Rams run defense, and then bring in these linebackers, then Brady might not just have to rely on that quick passing game. Obviously, probably will do that most of the time because that's actually what he is, and he's really, really good at that. But even though he's developed it into a deeper passing game most of the time in Tampa, the run game can set up the pass game, and Brady can take a few deep shots and easily beat these corners, because he knows all the schemes. He knows what anyone's trying to do to him defensively. So if he sees Eric Weddle out there, if he sees their safeties out of position, he's going to know exactly when to hit Scotty Miller on a deep route or Grayson on a random deep route, and just try to bury the Rams.
Yeah, Tristan Wirfs is a big concern. He's one of the best pass blocking tackles in the league. But that's the thing. Like, if anyone can compensate for his Brady, number one, he's had one of the best pass blocking units right in front of him the entire season. But a part of that is the fact that he gets the ball out quickly. So if anyone can compensate for the fact that they might be down, by the way, even Tristan Wirfs might play, but he has an ankle sprain. Now, I don't know how big of a deal that is for a lineman as opposed to a receiver. It's probably not as big of a deal. You don't need as much vertical quickness, obviously. So I don't know. I don't know the mechanics of it. So even if he does have an ankle sprain and has to play through that, he could still be 90% himself. I don't know how that works exactly. But anyway, Brady can compensate for that. He can get the ball out quickly. So, yes, you're going to have Donald and Von Miller up there and Leonard Floyd. That's going to be a matchup nightmare without Tristan Wirfs. Even though you have other good blockers up there, still, to lose him. And even Jensen got injured this game you mentioned. So to not have those two guys in the trenches is obviously going to be huge. Brady can compensate for it. And it's interesting because the matchups don't go in the Bucs' favor this game, especially if they lose a couple guys up front. But it's just – Brady, like, he can adjust. He's the best I've ever seen at adjusting mid-game, at the beginning of a game, in the middle of a week. This guy's not playing. I have to adjust the game plan. It happens all the time, right? You have to adjust the game plan a little depending on who's playing and who's not playing. He can do it, and I think we'll do it against the Rams, and that's why I think the Bucs will pull out this victory. Besides the fact I never bet against Brady, and I don't love the Bucs. I don't. They don't have any deep threats, and I think in today's NFL to not have a deep threat, it's dangerous unless you have Tom Brady. So that's my one caveat with that statement. So I'm going to go with Brady, even though I know the matchups aren't necessarily in their favor, you know. But Meisty, Yehuda, I didn't get your opinion on this. So do you think it's Super Bowl or bust for the Rams?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I wasn't able to get that in, but his contract with the Rams is actually up after 2022. So he's unrestricted in 2023. So when you say Super Bowl or bust, I actually do not agree. I think they made some strides. The problem is, if they do lose this game and they lose in divisional round, people are going to say, oh, like you had Jared Goff do the exact same thing last year. You lost in the divisional round. They lost to the Packers. And what did it get you? You traded this guy away. You took on his humongous contract. You traded draft picks, and you're in the exact same place as you were last year. And I would disagree with that. I would say he is a better quarterback. Matthew Stafford is a better player. They are really going for it with Von Miller and OBJ, but I don't think Von Miller would stick around, but like OBJ could stay and be long-term or even like a 2-3 year deal. And Matthew Stafford has one more year. So if they don't win and they get eliminated on Sunday, I think then the next year would become Super Bowl or bust. So I think they're really gelling the team together. And you could say like this is the literally the best year possible for like a tune-up, get everyone together on the same page year. Because he just almost broke the record for most passing yards in a season with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was a Triple Crown winner, catches, receptions, and yardage, and their offense is just overall better, and we can see that they are a better team. But for next year, it all sets up for them to try to go for a Super Bowl next year. Like the only guy we saw who could just come in and just make some adjustments mid-year and then win the Super Bowl is Tom Brady. Like most of the time, it takes time. We all expected Tom Brady to come in Tampa. They have some growing pains, whatever. They come, they gel together, and then they lose out in the playoffs in divisional round or championship round, and then the next year they come back strong and then finally put it all together and win a Super Bowl. But he does that all in 1 year. So Matthew Stafford is not Tom Brady. So that's what I expect for him, and I do think they are going to lose to the Bucs, but I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust for his legacy. I think because he's 33 right now, so it's not like he's 37 or 38, where we expect most quarterbacks to really decline. So I think he still has one more year in this window. I think the Super Bowl window is open right now for them, and I don't think it's necessarily Super Bowl or bust this year, but it's definitely they're cutting it close if they don't win it this year, because then I think it all comes down to next year.
Right. So that's the thing. It might not be Super Bowl bust this year, but this stretch for the Rams is Super Bowl or bust, whether it's this year or next year. I look at it all as one entity. But anyway, obviously it's obviously bigger for Stafford's legacy and Rodgers' legacy this weekend than it will be for Brady's legacy, because Brady's just done it all now. We were joking before the podcast that, Brady's just going to go to all these different teams, the Lions and the Vikings and the Chargers, all these teams that didn't win rings, and they spend 1 year on each team. And here, you want a ring? You want a ring? Let's give out rings. Brady who wants a ring? So, raise your hand. So yeah, obviously Brady's legacy is set in stone. I want a ring too, by the way. I know I see you raising your hand there, but
and you get a ring, and you get a ring, and you get a ring, and you get a ring.
Yeah, but Rodgers and Stafford really have a lot on their line in terms of legacy this weekend. So it's going to be great to see how it comes out. Let's get the final prediction. So I'm going with the Bucs. Meisty, did you make your decision yet? You want to make it first?
It's going to be 44-42 Rams.
Oh, huge game.
And it's going to be Brady's going to fall short. He's going to storm back. He's going to be down big. He's going to be down he's going to be down, 30, maybe 41. He'll be down 41, 20 something at some point in the third quarter, and then just start storming back late. But it's going to fall short, 44-42. Let's go
You
Rams.
bet against Brady. You made the mistake I told you not to make. You bet against
Oh
Brady.
yeah, always make the mistake. You're never gonna learn if you don't keep making them.
I hear. Good point. What about you? Huda?
So the Bucs have the best offense according to DVOA and the 8th best defense, and the Rams have the top 5 defense and the 8th best offense. So both of these teams are really good, and this is a sneaky good, really good close game. And I think this was actually a much worse matchup for the Bucs than the Cowboys. If the Cowboys would have won, they would have come to them. And like Rocky said, it's hard to get bet against Brady, even with all these even all these metrics favoring the Rams. They have the best pass rush win rate. They have the best run stop win rate. You just can't bet against Tom Brady. And
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, all the numbers say the Rams are a little bit better. Even if the Bucs offense might be a little bit better, all the numbers are saying the Rams are just a little better, and they have the exact same yards per play. It's really, really close, but you got to take the better quarterback, and you got to take Tom Brady, and I can't bet against Tom Brady. So I'm going to take 28-25, something weird like that. Close game at home, and we'll see a classic Brady drive to set up a Ryan Suckup game-winning field goal. Even down his tackle, potentially down his running back, down Chris Godwin. He's going to find a way to get it done and get to the championship game.
28-25. I'll go 28-24. I'm liking a 4-point game here. I don't like the 3-point game. It's too cliche. So I'm liking a 4-point game. I'll go 28-20 because I was thinking 24-20, but maybe give everyone a little more points. So 28-24. Morty, who you got in this game? Bucs, Rams. I don't know if you have a score prediction or not, but you just pick it straight up.
Yeah, no score prediction for me. But I'm gonna have to side with you, Rocky. Don't bet against Tom Brady.
That's it.
He'll make you sorry for it.
That's why Meisty does it. But
right, that's why Meisty does it. I ever since I did it last year against the Packers, this entire year I've been picking Bucs most games, I think, because it's my golden rule of betting. That's it. Even if there's no logic behind it, even if there's injuries, even if the matchups are favorable for the opponent, it's Tom Brady, man, and it's playoffs. And this is when Brady shines, and he's 44 years old, and he's still doing it, and it makes absolutely no sense. And nobody can explain why Brady's doing or how Brady's doing physically what he's doing, but he's doing it. And we'll get to see him again on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock. Interesting start time, right? They changed around the times. I think a couple of years ago it used to be 1 and 4:30. Now it's at 3 and 6:30. So love it, right? It's more in the middle of the day, so it packs everything into the middle of the day instead of just getting everything done with early. For me, it's still in the middle of the day here on the West Coast, still 12 and 3:30, but at least it evens it out a little. It's not 10 in the morning, and then by the time 5 o'clock comes along, everything's done. So this is nice. I'm very excited for it. What?
Yeah, they probably did that for the West Coast viewers to get them more involved in the middle of the day, so it's easier for them.
It could be the West Coast, even Mountain Time viewers, right? Probably a lot. That was a much bigger factor there. All right, so thank you for joining us, everyone, as we wrap up the divisional round previews. This was awesome, and of course, next week we'll come back with the championship round previews. 4 left at that point, and we'll see who those 4 are. Honestly, at this point, nobody knows. But in a few days, we will see who those 4 teams are. Thank you for joining us. Remember to subscribe to the page on YouTube and to our podcast on Spotify and Apple. And everyone have a great weekend.